Latvia! Latvia!
Real easy to do.
Streets up, streets up, streets up, streets up, streets up, streets up, streets up.
for this game are Sean McFarland of the United States, Mikko Kokakori of Finland. It is the final game of the Gruner round here in Riga, and the home team has everything on the line. The situation simple for Latvia. A point and they get through. Switzerland's Patrick Fischer is 6-0 in this tournament. They were 6-0-1 to start it last year, lost in the quarterfinals to the U.S. There is Vitolins. His team needs a point. He says, never mind that. We want the win. And they'll have an exuberant, burgundy-clad crowd cheering them on. They've made one quarterfinal appearance in the last decade. That was in 2018. Came close when the tournament was here in 2021, but they lost their last game that year to Germany and missed out. Latvia has won 4 in a row after back-to-back losses to open the tournament. Switzerland has run the table. And starting a goal for the Swiss is their third goaltender, Joran van Pottelberg. Plays for BLBN in the Swiss League. They advanced to the League Championship Series this year at a .931 save percentage in the playoffs. And as you talked about, Mike, for Latvia, it is 22-year-old Artur Silovs of the Vancouver Abbotsford Canucks who gets the call. So the Swiss are playing 2 skaters short. Nico Hischier and Niederreiter are scratches for this game. They've got 11 forward, 7 D dressed. It's all there for Latvia. Away we go. A lot of Swiss fans here too. They've been piling in. There's more than 4,000 Swiss fans have attended this tournament. Belinskas winds his way in. It's poked away. Switzerland's Tanner Richard. Now wheeled back down the Latvian zone. Here's Belinskas with it. 2 additions for Latvia tonight. George Golfskovs comes in at forward, and Christian Rubens, whose Calgary Wranglers in the American League were just knocked out of the AHL playoffs, he joins it. This is Rubens with it now. Got into 3 games in the Toronto Maple Leafs a couple of years ago, so they've had some injury issues. So Rubens is in, along with Golubkovs, and Rubens expected to play major minutes for Latvia.
Now we've seen other players come over late, jump in and fit right in, no problem. But Rubens just stepping in on defense in a pressure-packed game. And is going to play maybe top 4 minutes in it. So he'll have to make an adjustment very quickly.
That faceoff was won by Oskar Batnia, who scored the goal that lit the fuse for Latvia in the tournament, the overtime winner against Czechia in their 3rd game. Zirikal shoots, that's knocked away. But Andras Zeric is out of the lineup for Latvia. He's played an important role for them, especially on faceoffs in the tournament. Andras Ambuel, the all-time leader in points for the Swiss national team, all-time leader in games played and World Championships played of all countries. Ambuel playing his 130th World Championship game tonight. And he's not just here for show. Scored twice, or scored against Canada and 2 against Czechia in that 3-2 win by Switzerland. The Slovaks are watching this game closely. They won their last game this morning against Norway. If Switzerland wins this game in regulation, Slovakia advances to the quarterfinal. Canada beat Czechia in the 2nd game today. Canada finishes 2nd in the group. Will play Finland in Tampere in the quarterfinals on Thursday. We know the Swiss will play Germany here in a quarterfinal game on Thursday as well.
And don't let the fact that important players are sitting out for Switzerland trick you into thinking it's going to be an easier game for Latvia. All these other players at Switzerland are top-line players in their team regardless. Used to playing big minutes, they would still expect to be very good despite missing some important players.
Brought up by Michael Fora. Return pass knocked away by Renars Krastenberg.
I think the biggest difference is Van Pottelberg in net.
Right.
He hasn't played a minute. He hasn't played in this kind of situation, this kind of atmosphere.
He hardly played this year, really. Only 6 games played in the top Swiss league in the regular season. Did get some playoff action for them.
So that is probably the more important roster change for Switzerland, as opposed to any positional players that may not be in the lineup.
The Latvian players hoped this game would matter. They wanted to play a game in front of their own fans. They were decided in 2021. Most of the games had very limited spectators due to COVID. The city was under a curfew. The players were bubbled. That has not been the case this time around. Riga has put on a show.
Well, they've got what they wanted, because this is it. There's been so much anticipation. Everybody we come across in our day talking about this game tonight and the opportunity for Latvia to do it at home.
Here's Rubic with it. Lead pass to Balcers. Rob Balcers fires that in, picked up by Janis Moser of the Arizona Coyotes. Up to center ice, that's knocked down by Tanner Richard for Berchi. Christoph Berchi falls, and Rubens goes back for it. Herzog back with it. Herzog pivots back. At the point, long shot by Christian Marty, deflected back in front. Backhand shot by Corby. Save made by Seelan. Marty comes in, that was blocked by Seelan. Another shot blocked by Abols. 2 big shot blocks by the Latvians.
Oh, man.
And those were flush.
Look at Abols took it to the back. Zile is not sure he can continue playing, as he got that one in an awkward spot. Marty has a chance to walk right in the first one. Blocked by a stick. Big scramble ensues, and here's the first one that hits Zile, and the second one. Oh, man, Abols. Well, this is what we'll see out of Latvia. Sacrificing everything to block a shot, to get it out, whatever it takes in this game.
Rubens bangs that high off the glass. Nicely waved off as Balcers got in there. Here's Ambul, the 39-year-old, the oldest player in the tournament.
He doesn't get a game off? Come on now.
From the point, shot wide by Geiser.
How old is Nico Hischier? 23? Come on.
Ambul chops at that. And Janis Jaks plays it back around, past Geiser, and back down the ice.
So Latvia understands that they only need a tie. 1 point, and they're good. But you cannot approach a game with a passive mindset of, let's play for a tie. There's just no way, not against a team like Switzerland that attacks the way they do.
And defends the way they do. The Swiss have allowed 6 goals in 6 games. They started with 3 straight shutouts to open the tournament. No one scored more than 2 on them. They've allowed 25 shots in the third period total in 6 games.
So you better hope you don't trail heading into the third. Good luck. They're averaging 4 shots against per game in the third.
Freberg. Back across to Belinskas. Radashis. Has it taken away by Fora. Moving in there was Lochmelis for Latvia. The puck rolled away from him. Laid up by Sentler. Now Fora back with it. 5.5 gone here in the opening period. Miranda comes after it. Rubin steps into him. Moved around by Sabalskas. He pokes at it. Glove down by Simeon. Now picked out by Simeon. Long point shot was kicked out as Marty got that away. At the point, Geiser. Tap back, Marty. Plays it back down. Radashis tries to poke that free. Here's Miranda with it. Miranda winds his way in. That's knocked back. In comes Gaetan Haas. Waves. Works in. Seelovs is down. Haas plays it back. Here's Marty with it. Back across to Geiser. Here's Geiser. Down to Miranda. And moved back down to the Swiss zone. That's not the goodbye song. We pointed that out before.
Sounds pretty good, though.
In comes Krustenbergs. Gets a step on Klauser. Shoots! And Van Polenberg makes the save. Rebound! And that's fired wide by Toms Anderson. Merchi. Plays it across to Moser. Back for Christoph Merchi. Works in. Drops that back to Richard. Tanner Richard. Works that back behind the Latvian goal.
I'm on record as saying when you're playing a game, you don't really hear the crowd. That doesn't include crowds like this. This is overwhelming, the noise in this building for both teams. Referees got to blow their whistles a little bit louder. Coaches have a hard time talking to guys on their bench.
Siegenthaler knocked off the puck. Polinskas shovels up to center ice. And back down to the Swiss zone. Jonas Siegenthaler. Fiala ran over Botnia. No mean feet. Botnia 6'5", 230 pounds. Zirkov. Up for Botnia. Here's Herzog with it. Roberts, Bukarts. Here's Zirkov. Bukarts fires that in. Van Polenberg out to play it. Van Polenberg was drafted by Detroit in the 4th round in 2015. Played a couple World Juniors for the Swiss. Zeeland. Back out there after that shot block. Goes back to the Botnia. Centering pass footed wide by Roberts, Bukarts. Riga flips that high in the air and back down the Latvian zone. Icing called against the Swiss.
Goodness. I can't even imagine if they score a goal. The Bukarts brothers have both been heating up as this tournament's gone on. Puck is deflected by Van Polenberg on the way out, so it tricks him just a little bit. He fires it wide. Krastenberg inserted in the lineup for his speed, shows how he can drive you wide and create something. Latvia will have to be opportunistic. Even when they play well, there won't be a ton of chances available for them against Switzerland. Switzerland taking their sweet time as figuring out who was on the ice for the icing.
Looks like the fire marshal got the day off. There's 10,000 people, this 9,000 seat building. Mellis pokes that down to the Swiss zone. The fans in this section you see right behind the car stand the entire game. Now Jam played the side of the goal. Mellis couldn't reach it. Richard Bukarts fired that wide. Now sent back in front. Richard Bukarts with a chance that was centered by Rubens. Champion Bukarts fires that wide. Polinskas back with it. Polovskas. Knocked off the puck. Smirnov. Bangs that back down to Andersons. Polinskas shoots. That got through the traffic. And Van Polenberg makes the stop. No score in the first period in raucous Riga. No score here in the first period. Finland's got a 2-0 lead on Denmark. Finland locked into the third spot in Group A. Denmark knew entering the game it would not make the quarterfinals, but Germany won this morning. Sabalskis has that taken away. Berchi. Rink wide to Janis Moser working in. Krastenberg's going to stick on him. Tanner Richard. Trying to take that free. Here's Berchi with it. Christoph Berchi. Banks it down to Tanner Richard with a chance. Feeds that back at the point to Moser. Across to Glauser. For Moser. Glauser. Back to Moser. Berchi. Glauser. Richard. Walks in and shoots and fires. That's just wide. And Sabalskis lifts up by Richard. Gets squeezed off the puck by Berchi.
Switzerland still doesn't have a shot on net. 11 minutes into this game.
Shots are 4-0 Latvia. Jocks, lead pass for Kasper Dogovic. In comes Rodrigo. A-balls with a chance. Shoots, but Puddleberg makes the stop, and there's no rebound. 8:39 to go in the opening period. Still no score. Shots are 5-0 Latvia. No score here in the first period. It's the final day of the preliminary round of the World Championship. And a jam played up for A-balls. But Puddleberg down, the puck loose. Balsers thought he'd put it in, but the referee had blown his whistle.
Understandably lost sight of it, but I don't know if that puck was ever covered in the bottom of the pile. As the first line for Latvia goes to work, A-ball's banging away. Puck is loose there. Now A-balls is digging really hard at Van Puddleberg, and that's probably why it was blown dead. Looks like he might have it here, but A-balls somehow gets it out of there.
A-balls with the face-off back to Chukstad. Quiet pass, but there's Herzog. He moves that back to center. Balsers. Back across to Chukstad. Lead pass for Dogovic, who sends that down. Dogovic, the Latvian captain. Balsers bangs that back down. Pushed back there by Tanner Richard. Now Freyberg's up ahead for Zirkals. Slides that back down to the Swiss zone. In comes Simeon. Drops it up for Gaetan Haas. Haas winds in. Holds, feeds that back. Miranda shoots. Saved by Silovs. Rebound. Silovs shoots out away from Haas. Miranda plays it across. Geiser, a backhand shot. That was blocked by Roberts Buchart. Geiser to Marty. Marty shoots. That was blocked by Batya. He's got no stick. Now Simeon with it. Drops it off to Haas. 4:07 to go here in the opening period. Still no score. Marty winds across it and shoots. That's blocked by Roberts Buchart. He gave his stick to Batya. Looks like a mini stick in his hands. In comes Haas with it. Haas plays it back to Geiser for Miranda. Exhausted Latvians on the ice now. Fed across by Simeone. Bounces off the stick right to Haas. Haas winds across the top. Swiss changing the offensive zone. Fed across to Geiser. On comes Riga. Geiser back across to Marty. Two more Swiss will change. Drop back now to Miranda. On comes Sindler. Now for a long shot. Silas steered that away. Josh is back with it. Needs a change. Ships that ahead. They'll get almost everyone off. As Berchi texted that back. Michael Fora swings back. Swiss have their first two shots of the game.
You have to figure the longer this game goes, the more into the game the Swiss will get. Started admittedly a little bit flat. Nothing for them to gain here, but
Fiala holds that back to Fora with a shot that's deflected wide. Laxmelis sprawled out to block that. Kevin Fiala knocks it down. Feeds that back across. Sentler swings back. Siegenthaler was all teed up to shoot it, but Sentler skated by him. Ambiol back for Sentler. Laxmelis pokes up the center ice, and Josh is trying to set it up for Rihards Buchart. Lead pass for Ambiol goes off the stick, way up and out of play. No score here with 4:55 to go in the first period. .55 to go in the opening period. No score between Switzerland and Latvia. If this score holds, Latvia makes it to the quarterfinals.
too early, Gord. It's too early. 45 more minutes.
Fiala drops it off to Loeffel. Romain Loeffel plays that back to Geiser for Fiala. In comes Geiser with it. Silov's down. Geiser drops it off to Fiala. Works right in. Jam play. Silov's looking back. The puck is under him. Is it in?
Why is he not blowing the whistle? It's either going to be in the net or...
Fiala standing right there. He kept the puck out just.
The high cycle with Fiala coming in. It'll be a tough challenge. Gets right around Smirnov's. Oh my God. Puck pops up and is sitting on the inside of the left pad of Silas. He doesn't know where it is at all. And a couple fortunate bounces. First into the arm, then it falls into the pants. And in between the legs comes Silas. There it is. Switzerland is picking up their game the last few minutes.
Berchi wins that face-off back to Moser. A long shot there by Klauser. Loved by Silas. Silas is a Vancouver 6th round pick in 2019. Played 4 games in this tournament. Last year's .952 save percentage led the tournament.
Solid year down in Abbotsford. 26 and 12.
909 save percentage. 5 games clear of the Canucks, went 3 and 2.
Even though he's young, he's well-traveled.
Dogovic lost the puck, fed across. Tanner Richard slides it back. Berchi works in, holds and shoots. Silov save, rebound, and Silov pounces on that with Herzog looking for the loose puck.
Turnovers in the wrong spots will hurt you against Switzerland, a quick counterattack team. Ends up with Berchi walking laterally, trying to go back against the grain against Silovs. Dogovic does a good job here at the end with Herzog. Under the stick, so he can't get a hold of the rebound that Silovs dropped dangerously right in front.
Burns off the glass and back to center ice, picked up by Geiser. Loeffel spins back. Shots evening out now at 7-6 Latvia for the first 5 shots of the period. Zirkov moves out with Batya and Roberts Bukarts. Batya centers that puck and it's picked off by Miranda. Chipped out by Haas. And Rubens is back to pick it up. Puck goes off a skate. Rubens banks it back down to the Swiss zone.
Rubens not quite on the same page with Yaks. A couple of times they not connected in the simple D-to-D decisions.
Siegenthaler back for it. Sittler works in, drops it back to David Ria. And Ria spins that back down to Berchi. Centers it, just misses the score. Checks for Sittler, poke check by Silovs. Berchi back with it. He fires it back in front. 4 over the check. Backhand shot by Ria. And the save made by Silovs.
This is the team that has dominated the group. The last few minutes for Switzerland, just lots of motion in the offensive zone, confusion for Latvia. There's the poke with the leg, gets out to take it away from Sittler. And again, it's Yaks and Rubens. Leaving a guy wide open in front of the net. They'll be trying to talk it out as they are right now on the bench to get organized. See, they're just still working through the chemistry.
Back at the point, Geiser shoots! And Silovs the save on that.
That's a crisp read from Silovs. That was a quick play, and he was there before the puck was. Kicking it over to Geiser for a one-timer, but when the goalie's there waiting for it, it's a good chance he's going to stop it.
Silovs playing the World Championship for the 2nd time. Latvians have 12 players who have played at least 4 World Championships. They have more World Championship games played than any other team in the tournament. Fiala feeds that back to Ambul. Stick lifted by Abols. Abols had it poked away by Martin. Sabalskis rings that around. Corby jumps up. And Fiala swings back at center ice. Balls with a steal. Linskus to Dogovic. Also is trying to take that free. Here's Corby with it. Both teams change here. Moser gains the blue line, drops it up to Berchi. Banks it back around, knocked away by Freibergs. Looks ahead to Kostenbergs. Back for Smirnov for Kostenbergs. Also got a stick on him. There's not been a power play yet in the game. As the Swiss ice the puck, no major surprise there for the Swiss, who've been shorthanded just 12 times in 6 games.
Whatever the numbers are, they're good for Switzerland.
Whatever the discipline numbers are.
To the point where late in the last game, Dennis Malkin, one of their top players, took an undisciplined penalty. Patrick Fisher sat him down the rest of the game in a tight game.
Yeah.
Did not matter. He went to the end of the bench and stuck there. And now he's not playing tonight for rest, not for discipline reasons, but they hold everyone accountable the same way.
Off the face-off win by Tanner Richard, who's been the second base face-off man in the tournament, #1 on this side of the draw. Roberts Bukarts plays that down. Zirkals goes after it. Final minute now, the opening period. Zirkal. Long shot. And firing out on goal was Rubens, and the save made by Van Puddleberg.
Rubens out there with Zile now, different partnership. Good job by Zirkals, getting in on the forecheck, protecting the puck in a good battle with Moser. Zirkals had some good moments in this tournament. It's always a little bit awkward. You know you're going to get there first. You got to slam on the brakes about 5 feet away from the boards, because if you lose that collision, you're in trouble. Good job protecting the puck, creating some time in the offensive zone.
Puddleberg shoots it across to Simeon.
The sense that Von Puddleberg doesn't mind handling the puck with his stick.
Oh, stolen by A-Balls. In with Balsers. And Fora stepped in A-Balls. At the point is Dogovich. Drops that back for Yachts. Stolen by Miranda, and now Simeon plays it back down to the Latvian zone.
That's good coaching by Latvia. Yaks and Rubich wasn't working. They didn't wait even a period to change it. Now it's Yaks and Balinsis back together again.
Lead pass for Drashis. Bouncing puck as he works in. Final seconds now in the period. Spins and shoots. That's blocked. Marty takes a quick look. Eats the rest of the time off the clock. And Latvia and Switzerland will go to the dressing room tied at 0 at the 2023 World Hockey Championship. Christian Rubens added to the Latvian lineup today. Arrived yesterday. And his Latvians are scoreless against Switzerland after one period of play. There were no power plays in the first period. The shots were 9-8 in favor of the Swiss.
About as much as you could hope for if you're Latvia.
Joran van Pottelberg. His first world championship for the Swiss, played 2 World Juniors for them. Seeing his first action. And Artur Silovs, who has seen lots of action, as you mentioned, came on in relief 5 minutes into the game against Canada in the opener and has played every minute since.
Funanovs was the starter of the first game. That didn't last long. Silovs has taken the ball and run with it. He's got it all the way through to the end now. Say that Latvia can't play in their own end as much as they did in the last 10 minutes of that period. The rest of the game.
Now a steal. Here's Balcers with it. Spins back in the corner. Fora back around for Siegenthaler. Jonas Siegenthaler. Ahead for Berchi. Nico Hischier, Nino Niederreiter, Dennis Morgan, all healthy scratches for the Swiss today. In comes Herzog, but that plays offside at the Latvian line. So the Swiss are playing 2 skaters short with 11 forwards and 7 D.
So it's not like they sat those guys out and replaced them with another player.
No.
They have spots. They only have 11 forwards playing. So they don't even have a full complement of 4 lines. Patrick Fisher wanted to get those guys a rest, said they were not quite. I'm sure there are some bumps and bruises. It's been a long couple weeks. Or just sit them out in a game that doesn't matter to Switzerland in the standings. Not sure how Slovakia feels about those roster decisions.
Miranda flips that in. The Slovaks won their game earlier today, but left points on the table in a shootout loss to Kazakhstan. The Swiss have run the table so far.
They have rolled.
6-0 coming in.
And only one of those games of the 6 is a 1-goal game.
Right. They've
been the better team every game.
Here's Glauser with it. Works it back in front and rolled off his stick. Sentler trying to reach it. Janis Jaks plays it high off the glass. Shot back in by Sentler. That's kicked by Miranda. Back down to the Swiss zone. Glauser lifts that down to the Latvian end. Back is Rubens to pick it up. Zirkals spins away from Sentler. This will decide all the placings in quarterfinal matchups. We know 2 of them. The Swiss will play Germany in their quarterfinal matchup here in Riga on Thursday. Canada will play Finland in Tampere on Thursday. Klaus Freiberg's long shot scores! Freibergs opens the scoring for Latvia! The Swiss are looking at this.
Goalie interference, maybe. No doubt, Gukarts backs into Van Pottelberg, but he is pushed in there by Marty. Ralph Freibergs just drifts an innocent-looking wrister. Easy save, obviously. There's no question there's contact there. The question is...
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he was helped, but he wasn't hit that hard. This is a bit of a tough decision.
Patrick Fisher's talking to referee Sean McFarland, and I believe they are going to challenge here.
We have the Swiss video coach sitting in the booth beside us. And he has done his call.
Switzerland challenges goaltender interference.
All right, so Mikko Kakakori and Sean McFarland, the two referees, will take a look at this. This is a close call.
So this one just boils down to how much do you think Christian Marty pushed Bukarts into Von Pallenberg? If you think it's a lot,
if it's enough, then it's no goal. If you think that Bukarts could have done more to avoid that contact, then it's goal interference. Does his stick get into the right foot
That's what I'm wondering.
of Von Pallenberg as he's kind of jostling around? No, it does not. It does not.
he's around him, but not to the degree that Von Pallenberg fell down with his legs out underneath him. I'm saying if I'm watching this, he was helped in there. Contact was not that significant anyways. He was outside the crease. Good goal.
That's your call?
That's my call, and that's my rationale behind it.
Okay.
Now, it's entirely logical. You can see it the other way.
I think it's no goal.
He's outside the crease, he's shoved in the crease,
And the reason his right skate drops back into the crease is because he was shoved there by Marty, and he had to spin to not fall on top of the goaltender.
To me, I think they might look at it and see he was bumped in, but then didn't try to leave.
Yeah. It happened pretty soon after, but he could have been a little bit more urgency to get out of there. This is a massive decision.
Huge. I mean, the Slovaks are watching this. I mean,
deep breaths is right.
I do wonder if his stick did touch the right skin a little bit.
I don't think it had an impact. I think it was his skate that got in there more than the stick. But the skate, he had to pivot, otherwise he would have been shoved right into the goaltender. He had to turn to get his skate laterally, which then kind of went in and around on Pallenberg. But Pallenberg dropped like both feet into the net. It wasn't that much contact. So
long review.
I get, obviously, I understand why Patrick Fisher could do this. Why not? Roll the dice. If it doesn't work out, again, it's not a big problem for his team.
Boy.
This is going to go one way or the other.
Here's Kakakori with the call.
After video review, the call on the ice stands. There is no goaltender interference to have a good goal.
Good call, Mike. And the fans love it. So now, Switzerland will be short-handed and down 1-0. A goal by Ralph Freiberg. His first ever in 7 World Championships.
And there's maybe the most famous Latvian athlete, Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah.
The unicorn. Fills out that jersey, full size, like no gear on.
So Freiberg's playing in his 48th World Championship game. Gets his first goal, a former Bowling Green State University Falcon.
Clutch.
That's why you said there was no goal interference.
That's why
you can't take a Bowling Green guy's goal away.
I could not.
And now Latvia with a chance on the power play. They're 4 for 22 on the man advantage of the tournament. Swiss shorthanded for just the 13th time in 7 games. And what a moment this is. Dogovic trying to put it in, picked up by Tanner Richard. In comes Richard shorthanded.
Got the right guy chasing him in Malinskis, who can really skate.
Here is Dogovic. Playing in his 11th World Championship. Steve's in, backhand shot, put that wide. He barrels into Van Pallenberg. And some help from Fora. And that faceoff is going to come outside.
Dogovic checking in on Von Pallenberg. That one might not have counted. And he found a way, but sneaky fast. Dogovic trying to get to the far post, just can't hold the edges. And into the post, into the goaltender and everything else. The referees take the puck outside. And again, the message on Latvia's bench has to be, we have to continue to play. Yeah, we're up 1. We can't just sit back. We can't just try to nurse this lead. There is so much time left against a very good offensive team.
You could almost look at it this way, though, for Latvia. They're up 2. Like Switzerland has scored twice.
Yes.
In the game of regulation. If Latvia gets this game to overtime,
they're good.
They make the quarterfinals.
They've got a little cushion. Little cushion.
Probably not good to think that way.
Not yet. Give me the last 8 minutes. Talk that way.
Richards, Bukarts. That's knocked away. Yaks. Spins that back across. Robert Bukarts shoots. Blocked by Haas.
Haas, his stick is broken.
He knows it. He didn't even test it because he knows it's broken.
You can see the blade flopping around.
Robert Bukarts plays it across. He trusses with a shot. Blocked by Klauser. Loose in front. It bounces back to Robert Bukarts. Yaks. Long shot. Tipped by Palmer. Makes the right arm save. And that goes over the glass.
So we have an over the glass and a high stick.
2 penalties coming here.
But did they get the high stick on Andrasis?
So Klauser's going to go for the high stick. And I think there's also an over the glass.
Someone swatted the puck over the glass as well.
So the over the glass is a no-brainer. That's an obvious one.
Hang on, they're going to take Klauser out here.
Moser going in. There's a lot happening on this play. Now Klauser heading back from the other referee.
So the referee, Sean McFarland and Nico Kakakori are talking it over.
I didn't see an arm in the air on a high stick.
Here's the call from McFarland. So it's just a delay of game.
So maybe it was a puck or a body part that got Andrasis up top. Take a better look here. So here's the rebound. Oh, they missed them both. Klauser was in the box because he knew he hit him. And they pulled him out, and the infraction occurred before the puck was shot over the glass.
Right.
So we're not wiping it away as though the play was dead.
But now a 5-on-3 for Latvia for 39 seconds.
What should be for 2 minutes.
Yes. Yaks plays that back. Balcers to Yanis Yaks. Valinskas feeds it back across to Yaks. Balcers. Yaks down to Balcers for Dogovic. Dogovic for Valinskas. Dogovic feeds that back. Valinskas walks in and shoots off the outside of the post, but Palmer got a piece of it as well. Fiala steps back on. Latvia still on the power play. Valinskas shoots, miscued that save by Palmer. Here's Dogovic with it. Long wrist shot, but Palmer makes the save. And Richard spins and fires that back down the ice. Seelov's way out to play it. Leaves that back for Yanis Yaks. Balls has 2 power play goals for Latvia. Out comes Yaks. Spins that back around for Richards Bukarts. Indrashis plays it back down to Richards Bukarts. It's batted away by Klauser,
who should be in the penalty box.
Yes. Zirkov got spun around there by Settler. Fired in by Zirkov. And Siegenthaler hammers that down the ice. Seconds to go in this extended Latvian power play. Richards Bukarts swings that back around. Fora has it blocked and sent back to center ice. Moser steps back on. So Switzerland penalized for an unsuccessful challenge. The puck over the glass penalty, but survive all that, and it's still 1-0 Latvia.
It's obviously been a brilliant start for Latvia. If they could have gotten one more, it would have been nice. Here's Valinskas gets to walk in, and you're right, Gord. He gets a piece.
And end of the
just enough off the shoulder.
But to have gotten a second would have really put Latvia in a good spot.
Puckers in the corner, Herzog. Down to Richard. And Richard feeds it back. Hard shot there by Lofa. Rebound. And Kaiser's shot was blocked. Here's Berchi with it. Berchi back to Kaiser. Hammers that shot. Rebound. Poke wide by Herzog. Seelovs was down and out there. Lofa. Kaiser. Richard. That shot was on the foot of Smirnov. Shots are 5-0 Latvia here in the second period. Nicely called against the Latvians.
Sabalskis dropped his stick on the initial exchange in the corner, and he never went and picked it up. It was right there, and he almost gets himself in trouble as Herzog can beat him to the puck. He can't do anything with it as it's tipped up high.
And diving at the hands of Herzog in desperation.
Off the draw, Fiala fire scores! Kevin Fiala ties the game. That's what he was brought here to do. He's got his first goal of the tournament.
Only a matter of time before Fiala found the back of the net.
And that tired group, they overload the middle. Ambule and Glauser play picket fence. And Fiala's job is just to catch it and find a way to get it through the bodies, which is much easier said than done. Pulls it back. Andersons can't get there, and
no chance for Seelovs to see anything.
Tough loss by Smirnov's clean.
And an aggressive face-off formation works.
Kevin Fiala in his 5th World Championship for Switzerland made his World Championship debut as an 18-year-old. He was a Nashville first-round pick in 2014, 11th overall. Moved on to Minnesota, then signed as a free agent, sort of, with LA this year. The Kings traded for his rights 2 days before free agency started to make sure they could get him. And they did a 7-year deal for just under $8 million a year. He had 30 goals 2 years ago with Minnesota. 23 this year with LA. In comes A-Balls with it. Works it back in, scores! Rodrigo A-Balls! And Latvia's back on top. "32 seconds later."
Latvia has been driving wide and taking to the net all game long. This time, they turn Glauser, and Von Pottelberg has been crashed into 4 times. Looks for a poke check on A-Balls, and he just whiffs.
And it rolls right through the wickets.
There's the scene outside. Thousands of Latvian fans out there as well in the fan zone.
What a response. The best player for Latvia in this tournament, Riga A-Balls, has been fantastic.
Another show, look out. Seelovs got caught there for a moment.
There he goes again.
Circles built it down by Martin.
Same thing though, turn wide and drive the net. You like to see it from Latvia.
Batya picks that free. Here's Oscar's Batya wraparound drive, and Pottelberg down, picked up by Martin. And Fiala, who equalized the game momentarily, plays it across to Corby. Drops it back off to Ambule. Batya steers that away, and Ambule out-battles the bigger Batya for the puck. Centering pass, Fiala shoots again! Stopped by Seelovs. Here's Zile with it. Fiala works it back out, pivots back on Zile for Ambule. Ambule shoots, he fired that wide. Gosh, he slips that back to center ice. Siegenthaler knocks it down for Switzerland. And the Swiss have sat out Nico Hischier, Nino Niederreiter, Dennis Mulligan for this game. They're playing 2 skaters short. In comes Miranda. Walks back in, drops it off to Sickler. Played back at the point for Siegenthaler. Waits and shoots, and they got 3. Seelogs makes the stop. 11:56 to go in the second. Latvia leads 2-1. Latvia leads in this bubbling burgundy cauldron. Swedes, the U.S. don't know where they're going to play their quarterfinal game on Thursday yet. Matti shoots. They just missed there now. Moved ahead by Golovkas. The Krastenbergs. Berchi takes that away. The Slovaks don't know if they're going to the quarterfinals yet. Krastenbergs, jam play at the side of the goal. Knocked away by the Holberg. Golovkas. For Krastenbergs. That's tipped away by Herzog. A point is enough for Latvia to get to the quarters and knock Slovakia out. Lawful pokes out ahead. Baltzers has that stripped away, and here's Marty with it. Now a chance for Haas. That Haas works in. Backhand shot stopped by Seelovs. And Seelovs eats up the rebound.
Huge save for Seelovs. The slightest little turnover, and Haas leaks out up the middle, and he's in alone. He's got a little pressure from Freebergs. Don't really get a hold of him, and he just doesn't elevate. He's got Seelovs outstretched, but not able to get it up. He kind of cuts the puck in half, gets the top half of it here. Doesn't get underneath it to go under the bar. Otherwise, that would have been in. Same formation they scored a goal on with Fiala here. Double up on the inside hash mark for Switzerland.
Off the draw, though, it was won by A-balls. Polinskas gains center ice and flips that down to the Swiss zone. Bounce back in front. Dogovic reaching for it. Latvia's last over Switzerland was in 2015. Dogovic scored the overtime winner of that game. Plays it across. Simeon with it now. Dario Simeon plays it back in deep. Geiser goes after it. Geiser down to Corby. Shows it back around to Fiala. Fiala works into the center. Knocked down by Sabolskas.
He's had a stick broken in half. Did not call it on a slash.
Corby back across to Ambiel. Winds it and shoots. Seelovs a pad save. Fiala centers it, picked off by Zirkov. And Zirkov, the speedster, winds his way out. Lies there with Corby. Geiser to Fiala. Locked down by Geiser and picked up now by Fiala. The center ice to Ambiel. Ambiel fires it in, goes off on a change. Fiala. There's a pull his way by Zilek. And Zirkal sends it back. Zile. Up to Batnya. And Puckelberg leaves it there for Fora. And Sentler back with it. Siegenthaler chips out ahead. 9 to go in the second period. Sentler trying to dig that free in the corner. Miranda waiting for it. Miranda plays that back to Fora. Fora's shot was partly blocked by Andrashis. And Zile plays it high off the glass and back to center ice. Fora fires it back in after dumping Andrashis. Richard for Herzog. Out to Moser. As Moser works his poke check there by Chukstad. Now back in the corner is Moser. And the puck goes off Herzog into the Swiss bench. 8:15 to go in the second period. Latvia leads Switzerland 2-1. You see the Swiss scratches Nico Hischier on the left.
Mulligan, Niederreiter on the right,
Yeah.
watching intently. You know they wanted to play too. They don't come over here to watch.
Geiser to Fiala. Knocked down by Balchers, ahead for Dogovic. That's Dogovic plays it across penalty, coming to Switzerland. And it's going to be a slashing call on the Swiss. With 7:59 to go in the second period. Latvia gets another power play.
A little paw to the face by Fiala.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's more of a get off me. It's like a face wash mid-flight. Fiala can't get frustrated in games. A little lash out. So they didn't capitalize on the long 5-on-3 sequence, but now up 2-1. Big opportunity for Latvia.
Right.
You just want some cushion. You just want as much as you can get.
Fora.
Oh my goodness. Did that clear him in the head?
I think so.
Yeah, heading off and takes it in the head.
Yax. Back around to Richards, Buchardt. Buchardt, rink wide. Zirkal. Hohendraschis. Zirkal. Yax. Roberts Buchardt. Winds in and shoots. That was blocked by Siegenthaler. Right back in front. Here's Fora with it. And Fora slides that back down the ice. Finland beating Denmark 4-0. Denmark's World Championship win just shy of a quarterfinal berth. Herzog squeezes that by Yax and back down the ice. Balls plays that back around. Despite being the third seed in Group A, Finland will play on home ice. And Latvia will play here in Riga in the quarterfinals on Thursday. Home teams are guaranteed to play their quarterfinals at home, whether it's 1 or 2.
So the US who won Group A could have to go on the road
after going undefeated in the early round. Tom Anderson works in. Back for Dogovic. Plays that back to Belitska. Shoots and got through that. Pottlberg to save. Rebound. Baltzer's turned away. And rebound sent down the ice by Riga. 5 seconds to go in this power play for Latvia. Dogovic. Up for Belitska's, broken up by Corby. Back to Fora, out for Fiala. That pass broken up by Dogovic. Bit of a long shift for him. He'll peel off on a change. Fora. Moved ahead, but that pass picked off. Ambiol for Fiala. Fiala drops it up to Ambiol. Winding in, unders Ambiol. Works that back to Geiser. Geiser shoots. That's blocked. Rebound in front. Picked up by Krastenberg. He can scoot. And Geiser stays with him and slams him into the sideboards. Loftus. And that knocked away. Fiala rigged wide for Ambiol. Ambiol lets that back down. The Swiss will change. Long shoot-in chip down, and Geiser goes back to pick it up inside 5 to go in the second. Latvia won its first 2, or lost its first 2, rather, has won 4 in a row since. Needs a point here tonight to make it to the quarters for the second time in the last decade. Big pass for Zirkals. Zirkals pivots back. Fresh leg coming off the bench. Zirkals flips that wide. Waiting for it is Miranda. Through the middle. Simeon pokes that ahead. Blitzkis. For Roberts Bukarts. In with Andrashis. Centering pass just missed Andrashis.
Another hooking penalty coming up?
Wow. It's going to be lawful going off. Latvia back to the power play. Well, the fans have done their part tonight and throughout this tournament. You can televise the fan zone. Dogovic to Belitskis. Latvia's back on the power play. Out the line by Belitskis. That's picked up and sent down the ice by Siegenthaler. Lawful goes off for hooking. Latvia trying to be the first team in the tournament to put 3 up on Switzerland as Siegenthaler took down Andersons.
Get back there and help out.
Haas works that free to Sentler. Sentler swings that back, bumps it back to Klauser. And now Haas with it. Moser, up into Herzog. Baltzer's with it. Rihards blue cards. His brother Roberts. Andrashis. Roberts blue cards to Rihards blue cards. Swings that back to Andrashis. Back at the point, it's Yax. Sweeps it in. Andrashis with a quick shot that goes high. And now set down the ice by Moser. She fell. Rihards blue cards gets away. Poke check there by Tanner Richard at center ice. Now Roberts blue cards brings it in. Picked off by Geiser and sent down the ice. There's 10 seconds to go in a penalty to Loeffel.
Not much going on, but 2 more minutes off the clock. It's the most positive way you can look at it if you're Latvia.
Loeffel is back on. Zirkal works his way in. Smirnoff lays that back. Golovkas. Now goes back in the corner. Krastenberg's taken in there by Marty. Loeffel back with it. Across he goes to Geiser. Minute 45 to go in the second period. Krastenberg bowls over Corvi, and now Krastenberg fires it down in the Swiss zone. Fora back on it. Geiser. Up ahead to Fiala. In comes Kevin Fiala, drops it back to Corvi moving in. And roll off his stick. And Dogovic spilled Corvi. Now Corvi got it up the puck in the corner. Goes back to Siegenthaler. Cross to Fora, has a look and shoots. Bouncing puck in front. Riad couldn't reach it. Dogovic can't pull it over from Siegenthaler. Got a stick up on him and a penalty coming out of Latvia. The Latvians touch up with 1:01 to go. Rubens is into it there with Fiala.
Trying to get an even up call if they can.
Swiftland's scheduled to go to the power play here.
Dogovic
goes off.
Headed to the box with a high stick. Puck popped in the air. He took a swing at it and got Siegenthaler up near the chin. He knew it right away.
And so Switzerland, who have yet to go on the power play in this game.
Yeah.
Well, they've taken 4 minors of their own.
They're 6 for 20 on the power play.
Latvia's penalty kill, 17 of 18.
Team Latvia. Team Latvia, number 16, minor long, ice sticking.
A real opportunity for Switzerland to even things up before the second period ends.
Swiss scored 4 power play goals in their opener against Slovenia, but have just 2 since. Sempler wins that faceoff back to Loeffel. Works it back across to Fiala. Fiala failed that pass. That's kicked back out. Batya works his way in. And Fiala tries to knock that down. Fiala got bottled up behind the goal, kicked up by Batya. And there's Fiala. Up for Haas. Gaetan Haas drops that back to Fiala. Swings that rink wide and hard for Herzog. Moved in by Loeffel, high off the glass to Fiala. Fiala, back for Haas. Time winding down in the period. Fiala, back for Loeffel. To Fiala, sends it back in front, they feed it across. Haas trying to find center with that pass. Final seconds now, Fiala with it. Kevin Fiala, quick look at the clock. Spins it back to Loeffel, shoots! Silov's a save as time expires here in the second period. Latvia needing 1 point to get to the quarterfinals, has a 2-1 lead on Switzerland after 40 minutes here in Riga.
call on the ice stands. There is no goaltender interference to have a good goal.
Joran van Pottelberg making his first World Championship start for Switzerland, has allowed 2 goals on 17 shots. At the other end, the much busier in this tournament, Arthur Seelovs has allowed 1 goal on 19 shots. There will be 1 minute and 1 second of power play time for Switzerland as Kasper Zdogovic starts the period in the penalty box. The situation is this: Latvia needs a point to advance to the quarterfinals. A win of any kind, they finish 3rd and play Sweden in the quarterfinals. An overtime or shootout loss, they would play the United States. If they lose the game in regulation, they're out. And the Swiss power play goes to work. Moser. Up into Miranda for Corby, drops it back. Amiel hammered that shot high. Enzo Corby has a look, slides that down to Miranda, back for Corby. Corby looks back to Moser. Moser back to Corby, to Moser. Swings it across to Riga. Moser shoots, and Seelov's got a piece of that. Riga with it. Slides that back to Moser. Across he goes to Corby on the fresh ice. Here's Moser, in, shoots, that deflects wide. And Zile got in the way. At the line, held once again by Moser. Final second of the power play. Corby shoots, and it's Zile in the face. And right away, play is called. Zile took that flush in the face. And right away, the athletic therapist comes sprinting off the Latvian bench.
You can only hope that that caught plastic. See him up on one knee, moving and talking. That's a good sign.
First up, Zile was the captain of the 2017 Latvian World Junior team.
Switzerland giving a nice tap on the bench for him as he goes off. Shots are coming in from the point. Side of the face, clearly. Staying on the bench.
Here's Klauser. Back across to Moser. Zdogovic is over. Klauser feeds it across, and a hard shot there by Richard. Stopped by Seelovs. Zdogovic just over the penalty box. Brings it back ahead for Latvia. A quick shot there by Balcers, kicked away by Van Pottelberg. Berchi. Klauser feeds that down to the Latvian zone. And Balinskis up ahead to Balcers. Fires that back around. Siegenthaler back to pick it up. Chipped down by Miranda. No, Haas knocked that down. Drashis. Rink wide pass to Richard's blue cards. Miranda knocked him off the puck. Bouncing puck in front, and Drashi's hacked that wide. Lushmelis had that poked away, and here's Siegenthaler with it. Drashi's holds the line now for Latvia. Fora, man with that clearing attempt. At the point, and hard shot by Rubic. Steered by Van Pottelberg. Up over the glass and on a play.
Well, mission accomplished to start the period for Latvia. Kill off the penalty.
And go to work as Zile is still getting work done. Clear the puck hit him in his right cheek area.
But it takes something really serious to knock you out of this game if you're playing for Latvia. You're not leaving that bench unless you have to.
Off the face-off, Lawful with it. Off the glass is center ice, and racing back is Yaks. Pasterberg feeds that in. Loftus with it. There's Tanner Richard taking that pass off the boards. Slides that back in the high slot to Berchi, throws that wide of the goal. Smirnovs chips that to Rubens. Berchi spins back. Lauser to Geiser. Belinskas. On the back of the goal, Belinskas spins back. Belinskas will be going to the NHL next year. Signs a free agent by the Florida Panthers. So either there or their American League affiliate. That's chipped back down the ice. Corby hustling back. Here's Fiala with it. Latvia has 2 shots here in the third period. Zuckler with a shot. Seelov's the same. Switzerland's only allowed 27 shots in the third period in 7 games.
It's a comical stat. And I don't know if Latvia pushes 5 or 6 in this period because the situation they're in, up 1, they're going to be doing a lot of defending, a lot of chipping out, changing quickly. Switzerland will be on the attack, so that trend may continue.
Freyberg took a stick in the face. Sentler moves in, flip that wide. Riga swings back at the top of the blue line, flips that back in the corner. Fora jumps up now for Switzerland. Siegenthaler tied up by Eballs. Center ice, Balters drops it off to Dogovic. In comes Dogovic. Bumped off the puck. Herzog lost the handle for a moment. The bouncing puck picked up by Riyad. Siegenthaler fires that back down the Latvian zone. Rubic. And the puck over bounces back to Haas with a chance. And a penalty coming now. Haas was spilled. It'll be Yaks who goes, and so Switzerland gets a power play. 4:58 into the third period.
Latvia, number 72, minor penalty, tripping.
All the plays got to be made along the wall to advance the puck out. Rubens goes in inside position, and it's the dive into the legs. You know, that's not a bad call. They rarely call that when defensive players slide into the legs of attacking players because they're maybe trying to block a pass or a shot, but it's still tripping. And Yaks goes to the box because Rubens got caught on the outside of Haas.
Now
this is where you'd like the big guys back in the lineup.
He's your Niederreiter.
Yes.
Malgin. Here's Lawful with it. Lawful drops that back to Fiala. Shoots! Seeloff has the puck in his pads. And is able to hang on.
He didn't know he had it. Herzog spotted it before Seeloff did. The shot comes from out high, and Herzog sees it down between Seeloff's pads, where Seeloff's still looking for it. He's got it. You know where
And he's trying to get to it. And just in time, he battles into Rubinch and the paddle of Silovs. Let's get the whistle.
Awful. Swings that back to Fiala. Lots of time on this power play. Fiala feeds it back in front. Haas trying to go between the legs. That misfired. Fiala back with it. Fiala to Haas. Back for Fiala to Loeffel. Loeffel swings it across to Sentler. Sentler. Back for Loeffel. Crossing goes to Fiala. Loeffel. Fiala feeds it across to Sentler. That bounced off his stick. Rubin's on it. Sends it down the ice. Comes Zirkal shorthanded. 45 seconds to go in the Swiss power play. Enzo Corvi takes the return pass, now chips it across for Ambuel. Down to Riga. Side of the goal, bouncing puck. Miranda couldn't reach it. There's Corvi. Enzo Corvi. Back to Moser. Cross he goes to Riga. Feeds it down to Ambuel. That centering pass blocked by Zile. Yeah. Now turned over Riga. Back across to Corvi. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Corvi. Moser to Corvi. Works in. Time winds down. Corvi feeds it back. Yaks comes back on. Here's Corvi back across. Riga score! Goes off Miranda's skate and in. The game is tied at 2. Now, did he kick it?
No, it's coming too fast. Even if his foot's moving, he wouldn't even have time to react to it.
But he'll take
Miranda,
it.
his second of the tournament. His first since an opener against Slovenia.
Dogovic comes out, or Jaks comes out of the box. Oh, it's off Zile. And off Miranda, nothing anyone could do. They just got a little stretched out as the penalty was expiring.
He didn't kick it, didn't move his foot. So.
No. We're all tied up.
Off the toe cap in and you'll take it every time.
So now, back to 2-2. And Latvia cannot give up another here.
Oh.
Remember, Switzerland has not allowed more than 2 goals in a game yet. They've been almost impenetrable in the third period. Pericin winds back in. Fiala trying to work that free. Through his men, Chukstay now. And there's Freiberg's back with it. Chukstay lifts it back out. 4 up. Winds back in for Switzerland. It wasn't a power play goal for the Swiss team after the penalty had expired. Golovkos backhands that back ahead. And Fiala lifts that way up in the air and off the glass. Shots are 6-2 Switzerland here in the third. Indraction centers it. Oh, what a chance for Las Vegas off the goalpost. What a shot that was. And now Simeon moves it back in for Switzerland. Picked up by Gaetan Haas. Kolinskas. He pivots back. And that goes off a stick, up and out of play. 11:35 to go in the third period. Switzerland has tied it up at 2. Latvian fans
Look
on the edge
tense.
of their seat now. It's a 2-2 tie. That's okay. If it stays like this, they can live with that. It's a long way to go. 11:35 left in the period. Switzerland has allowed just 2 third-period goals so far in the tournament. Here's Corby with it. Up ahead with Fiala. That's a poke check for the moment. And moved out by A-balls.
Zile's got a cage on his helmet right now. Protect his face.
Blocked his shot with his face earlier. Balters plays that back for Yaks with his shot, but Puddleberg steers that away. Fiala swings it back across to Marty. Christian Marty works that back in. Seelov's back to play it. It was a 1-goal loss for Latvia against Germany in its final game of the preliminary round in 2011 here in Riga that cost them a quarterfinal spot. Long lead pass for Roberts Bukarts, broken up by Siegenthaler. Berchi flips that to Ria. Settler couldn't handle the puck. Zirkals lost it. Berchi couldn't get a shot away. Ria winds in. Peels back, throws that back to Fora. Fora fans on the shot. Picked up by Andrashis. In comes Mix Andrashis. And the play is called offside at the Swiss line as defenseman Michael Fora lost his glove.
Bukarts actually had to make a smart play there. If he holds his line to stay onside, he probably gets called for interference by running to the back of Fora. So better to slip offside than to risk taking another penalty. And it was just after a power play expired that Switzerland tied it up. It would have been that hard of a sales job for Patrick Fisher. They lost to Latvia just before the tournament started. They had to be prepared for this one.
2-2 the score, 9:54 to go in the third. .54 to go in the third. A 2-2 tie. Switzerland already locked in as the top seed in Group B. Will play Germany in the quarters here on Thursday. Latvia needs a point from this game. Just getting it to overtime would be enough to make the quarterfinals. What they can't have is a regulation loss. That would put Slovakia into the quarters. Eitan Haas plays out ahead. He's knocked out. And Sabalskas plays it back out. Klauser shoots it right back in. Marco Miranda has the tying goal in the third period for Switzerland. Bounced off his skate for his second goal of this World Championship. Roberts Bukarts ships that ahead. Back goes Martin to pick it up. Bouncing puck in center ice. Herzog had it chipped away by Yaks. And Zirkals straightened up by Tanner Richard. Berchi up for Richard. Tanner Richard trying to find the handle. Zirkals has it back now for Latvia. Marty goes back, brings it back around. Herzog kicks at it. A-ball's trying to kick it free. Marty swings it back around to Geiser. Merchi chips it back down to the Latvian zone. Now picked up by Corby. He's got Fiala with him. Enzo Corby working, bouncing. Puck goes to Fiala. Chukste picks it back up for Latvia on his backhand, finds Dogovic. Up ahead there. We lost Balcers. Out the other side, picked up by Dogovic. Dogovic. Back down to Balcers. At the point is Zile. Zile shoots, and Van Polenberg makes the stop. Loose in the corner, and Drosh is trying to pick that up.
Latvia's not attacking aggressively, but they're doing a good job not backing up all the way into their own end. Keeping some kind of gap in the neutral zone.
Seagan's on. Bora back with it. Settler chips that back down. Sabolskas got up behind the goal. It's worked free. Back at the line. Glauser works in, holds. Silov's down. Glauser feeds it back. Now here's Miranda with it. Miranda banks that back to Glauser. Moser back across to Settler. Feeds that back to Moser. Moser shoots, blocked in front, rebound. Yak slips that down the ice. This will be icing against Latvia.
That's a heck of a battle between Smirnovs and Miranda in front. Glauser had Silovs all strung out on the right side. But Latvia bending, not breaking. And if the fans could will the clock to run, they would be.
6:41 to go in the third, and the clock winding way too slowly for these Latvian fans. Here's Loeffel, back across to Marty. Marty, down to Corby. Enzo Corby pivots back, works his way free on Smirnov, drops it off to Fiala. Fiala flips it back, little backhand pass in front, just missed Corby with that. Ambiol spreads that back across, Fiala shoots. That was blocked by Savolska. Now back across, Ambiol shoots, scores! Andres Ambiol, the veteran, gives Switzerland a 3-2 lead with 6:14 to go.
Andres Ambiol, hot finish to the tournament, continues as he wires one. A nice feed from Fiala. After a block shot, Ambiol opens up, and Yak's a little bit late to get there. Open seam, easy one-timer, and he gets all of it over the shoulder of Silovs for Switzerland to take their first lead of the game.
Latvia has led twice.
Tired legs, icings, playing in your own end, and Switzerland showed it all tournament long. They will eventually break you down.
And long shot steered by Silovs. Andres Ambiol with his 4th goal of the tournament. Siegenthaler fires the deflected puck. Silovs down, and Richard had a stick in his skate. Tempers flaring here in the third period. Switzerland's got a 1-goal lead. has 4 goals in this tournament. The last time he scored 4 goals in a World Championship was 2010. He's made a career of playing in this tournament.
And that wasn't even his first tournament.
No, he'd already played in a few by then.
So now the pressure on Latvia.
Yeah.
On home ice.
They've been in defend and protect mode for the better part of the game, really.
Against a Swiss team that is just 2 skaters short. 11 forwards, 7 defensemen. They're normally allowed to dress 20 skaters, but they elected to rest some of their key players. Miranda plays that back in the corner. Settler. Being watched by Belinskas. Settler drops that back to Glauser. Glauser shoots up just wide. Here's Moser back on it. Down to Miranda. Miranda feeds that back. Glauser to Miranda. Back in behind the Latvian goal. Belinskas. That went off the referee's skate. Now Rubin's back to pick it up. Rolls it back around. Chopped down by Balcers. Picked up by Abols. Rodrigo Abols moves in. Feeds across. Dogovic scores! Kasper Dogovic! The captain has tied the game!
Quick transition play. Glauser gets caught up a little bit. Abols and Dogovic, nice pass across. Catch and release. And Pottelberg can't get over and stay up. And who else but the captain gets his team tied again.
You thought there was no way. There's just no way they're going to find a way to score against Switzerland. Kasper Dogovic coming through.
Goals in 3 consecutive games. There's his bomb.
I'm in tears.
All right, 5 to go in the third. They've got the goal they need. This place is literally shaking. Zile goes back. Ambul scored the go-ahead goal a moment ago. Feeds that back across to Corby. Corby back to Marty. Marty throws it towards the goal. Bounces back in front. Kaiser couldn't find it. Flipped back out. Back Rastenberg. Berchi moves in by Roberts Bukarts. Picked up now by Freyberg. Freyberg. Inside 4 to go in the third. If it stays like this, Latvia qualifies. For just the second time in the last decade. Zirkov flips that ahead. Tanner Richard through the middle. To Herzog up for Berchi. Rubens. Turns that over. Berchi on it now. Plays that back, picked up by Dogovic. And away comes Belinskas with Balcers and Abols. Belinskas shoots! That goes just wide. Abols back with it. Rodrigo Abols. Feeds that back. It's picked up by Dario Simeon. Simeon works it and shoots short side. Silas makes the stop. Run back around by Abols all the way down the ice. That'll be icing against Latvia. 2:58 to go in the third period.
Get a load of this building that just explodes. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh my God. What a scene.
This is the best part about the World Championship right here.
And the American players and Swedish players looking at the screen. We're going there. Off the face face-off. Marty shoots. Bangs off Balzer. Abule. Plays it down to Corby. Enzo Corby. Feeds that back to Loeffel. Loeffel drops it back to Fiala. Dogovic ties him up. Balcers works it free and sends it back down. Loeffel swings back to pick it up. Latvia gets fresh legs on the ice. Haas works in. Gaetan Haas holds that back for Glauser. Glauser shoots, bouncing puck that skips wide as Yachts got in the way of that. Settler back to Moser. To Glauser, shoots, blocked by Andrashis. Inside, 2 to go in the third period. Glauser back around to Haas. Haas to Glauser. Feeds it across for Settler. Settler works it and shoots, bouncing puck in front, picked up by Yachts. Bounce that back to center ice. Here's Moser with it, up for Haas. But Pullberg remains in the Swiss goal for now. Haas plays it back around, Kostenberg. Latvia leading this game 3-3. That's all they need is a single point. And we're inside a minute to go in the third period.
Oh, you can't ice that. You've got to be better.
Sends it down, ices it. And now you got 52 seconds to go in the face-off back down to the Latvian end.
And Zile needs a change.
He's tired and wounded.
I mean, it's just so much pressure. You're thinking just get it out, but you can't ice it either.
Zemgus Girgensons looking on, the Buffalo Sabres. All right, here you go. Richard for the faceoff. He's one of the best in the tournament against Batya. Richard wins it back to Berchi. Across to Siegenthaler. Looks down to Richard. Picked up by Zile. All aboard Kostenbergs. Sealed there by Loeffel. Richard picks it up. The referee fell in the corner. Richard. Trying to flip that back in front.
Skate it, and you get out.
Bukarts has it. Takes a look at the clock and now moves it in. Bukarts works in. Walks right in front. Shoots up, dribbles wide. Rebound. Kostenbergs is knocked away by Van Puddleberg.
Eat it down there. Don't even make a play.
Away comes Fiala. Fiala works in. Rolls on his stick. Rebound loose in front. Berchi took a stick up in the head. Silovs has the puck. There's 7.9 seconds left.
Whoa. Looked like nothing was going to come of it. Fiala just skirts down the boards. Gets it right to the front of the net. A pretty good opportunity here. Berchi gets a piece. Silovs doesn't see it.
Chukste took Berchi with a stick. There doesn't appear to be a penalty on the play. Fiala's jawing there.
That's Dogovic and Fiala still going at it with each other.
And they're both going to go here.
You want as many people on the ice as possible on defensive zone faceoffs. The fewer people, the bigger the advantage to the offensive team. You wonder, though, a lot of defensemen in on that scrum. Face-off outside, because the Swiss players were in.
And the face-off will come outside.
Yes, that is huge.
Dogovic and Fiala are jawing.
Both players 2 minutes for roughing. We play 4-on-4.
So they each get 2 minutes for roughing, 4-on-4, to be expected. But the face-off outside the blue line, that is the significant development.
That's huge.
So at this point, you're diagramming defense on a 4-on-4 neutral zone face-off with under 8 seconds left.
Latvia last made the quarterfinals in 2018. Their only appearance in the last 10 years.
So if you're A-balls, you even bought, like, I'm thinking at this point, Gord, depending on where their guys lined up, shooting it to the boards or shooting it forward.
Meantime, sitting in 10th, the United States and Sweden are still wondering who they'll play in the quarterfinals.
This one has one too many guys on the ice. They got 5, so someone's got to get off already.
A Latvian win of any kind, and they finish 3rd and play Sweden.
So, Ambule wide right, bottom of your screen. A-ball has just got to push this puck to the boards. Flanking Balsters out here to challenge A-ball. Or Ambule.
Takes off one back. Siegenthaler. Final seconds, works in. Feeds it across. Drop back. Lofo shoots. That's blocked in front. Latvia's going to the corner. But there's still work to do. The game's not over yet.
They don't know what to do. They want to celebrate.
Latvia gets its point. But there's still another one up for grabs. And we still don't know who's facing them in the quarters. Joran van Pottelberg and Artur Silovs in a 3-3 tie here, so the single point gets Latvia to the quarters. Now the question. And there's
Zaric.
Andres Zaric, who's out of the lineup today.
And I tell you what, everybody needs those earplugs today. It has just been so loud, so much emotion in the building.
So now, if Latvia wins this in overtime or a shootout, the Latvians will finish 3rd and play Sweden.
Yeah.
If Switzerland wins it, Latvia finishes 4th and will play the United States. Either way, they play here on Thursday. Welcome those of you who watched Finland beat Denmark 7-1 here in Riga. High drama. A late goal by the captain, Kasper Dogovic. Evens the game at 3. Latvia gets the point it needs to qualify for the quarterfinals for the 2nd time in a decade. First time since 2018.
Doing it in comeback fashion. Lost the lead, trailed 3-2, and the captain tied it up.
So now 3-on-3 overtime. This has not been kind to Latvia over the years. They're 1-6 all time in overtime. Their win was against the Czechs. earlier in the tournament.
Face-off get-off for Balcers. Win it and change. And now back on.
This is the first time Switzerland has gone past regulation in the tournament. Balcers winds in, drops it back to Belinskas. And Belinskas swings back across the top, and as he does, the play's offside.
And if they make it through 2 minutes, you'll have Fiala and Dogovic step on the ice. They'll become 4-on-4 until the next whistle goes.
Right.
When they'll be taken off and go back down to 3-on-3.
Svidlins has been coaching hard on the bench tonight.
He has been grinding.
Latvia lost its first two. The tournament turned for them with an overtime win over the Czechs last Monday. Then wins over Norway, Slovenia, Kazakhstan. And now the single point against the Swiss that gets them into the final 8. This overtime feels like almost an anticlimax.
It does. It does.
Van Pottelberg up the plate, steers that across to Loeffel. Loeffel moves away from Zirkals, plays that for Richard. Tanner Richard works in, crisscrossing with Loeffel, drops it back, Loeffel shoots, Silovs kicks that out. Zirkals banks it ahead, Batya, he's got Yaks with him. Oskars Batya walks in, holds and shoots, saved by Van Pottelberg. Richard tackled Batya, penalty coming to Switzerland. Batya with the overtime hero against the Czechs, and now he draws a penalty in overtime against the Swiss. Richard mauled him.
Tackle's the best word. Good cut in here by Batya, though. Yaks it backed up for a one-timer, and he loses Loeffel. And you're right, 2 hands over the top and drag him down.
One shot, and the rebound as well for Batya. Almost like his previous overtime goal that he swatted home.
And so Latvia will take a timeout.
Take a breath.
Work on a 4-on-3 strategy, which will become 5-on-4 in 41 seconds when Fiala and Dogovic step out of the box.
They've come this far, might as well send the fans home happy.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
Or happier than they already are, if that's possible.
So the Finns will play Canada in their quarterfinal on home ice on Thursday. Switzerland will play Germany. The other two still TBA.
A situation where Dogovic would for sure be on the ice, not available.
4-on-3 power play for now. Belinskas racing to it. Siegenthaler chops at that rolling puck, but can't get it by Belinskas. Feeds it back in the corner for Balcers. Now it's picked off by Haas. Gaetan Haas short-handed. Look out, goes into the Swiss bench. And the face-off back down to the Switzerland man.
Haas had the right idea. A lot of room out there to keep your feet moving, even if you're short-handed. Dumped it in the box, so A-Balls, who's played a ton tonight, digs in for another face-off against Sentler.
Lane's back, Yaks with a drive that goes wide. Balcers can't hold the puck. They'll play it across to Yaks. Fed back across to A-Balls. Picked free by Yaks. Weak wide he goes to Belinskas. Yaks works that back to Belinskas. Across to Balcers. Feeds across to Yaks. Yaks has a look. Shoots, and Van Pottelberg makes the save. A-Balls with a bouncing puck.
Oh,
Crunched there by Fora. Yaks picks it up, walks in, shoots short side, but Pottelberg makes the save. Yaks back with it, minute to go on the power play. Back to Belinskas, feeds across, Balcers scores! Rudolf Balcers wins it for Latvia! The perfect end to a perfect night for Latvia. delirium in Riga.
Balsers was waiting for it. He walks into the sweeper.
Gets it upstairs for the win.
They deserve to celebrate. It's a tough shot to make. Tough shot to save for Von Poelberg. As Balinska slides it over for the win.
The captain, Kasper Dogovic, is in the penalty box for it. He almost climbed to get out. So we will get the player of the game presentations, and then we will get what undoubtedly will be a rousing version of the Latvian national anthem. What a night here in Riga. 2 years ago, they lost to Germany in their last round-robin game that cost them a quarterfinal spot. But now, with their fans in the stands in full voice, they come back to tie it late. That got them the quarterfinal spot. They win in overtime. That gets them the third. So Latvia will face Sweden in the quarterfinal. The United States will play host to Czechia.
And they did it against Switzerland, who've given up 6 goals in the tournament, never more than 2 in a game. They put up a 4 spot when they had to have it.
Kevin Fiala, the play of the game for Switzerland. They'll get their big boys back for the quarters against Germany.
There's a danger of losing some momentum if you sit out players and don't win.
Best player of Team Latvia.
Number 18, Rodrigo.
He has been an absolute stud for Latvia all tournament long.
The anthem is God Bless Latvia.
Dear all, please raise if you are able to for the national anthem of Latvia.
loss here in your final preliminary round, but you guys were a little short-handed in your lineup. Are you still happy with how you performed?
Yeah, I think we had a good first period. We had lots of chances, but we didn't manage to put the puck in the net. Then from the second on, it was a little tougher. We had lots of PKs, and they got in the game too. And then it went back and forth at the end with the better end for them.
Did it feel like you were battling an extra player out here with the fans?
I mean, of course, they did a great job. Obviously, better for them, but also for us, it's good to have a great atmosphere. You always like to have lots of fans, and it was a fun game from that side.
Looking forward to the quarterfinals. How is the team's confidence heading in?
Ja, ich glaube immer noch auf einer guten Höhe. Am Schluss haben wir eine gute Vorbereitung gehabt, gute Gruppenphase, jetzt klar mit dem bitteren Ende im letzten Spiel. Aber wir haben durchaus sehr gutes Hockey gespielt und ich würde sagen, wir sind parat für das Viertelfinale gegen die Deutschen. Thank you.
A game where you needed a point, you guys ended up coming out with the win against the top team in the group. Where does that goal rank on all the goals you've scored ever wearing this jersey?
I mean, I think it was. I think the bigger goal was the third one when we tied the game and we got the game to overtime. But for me personally, it's been tough scoring goals in this year's tournament. So it's been a long coming, and it just feels unreal to finish off a great battle tonight.
With the 2 points, you guys actually end up third in the division. Let's talk about your captain and what he means to this team, tying that game and sending it to overtime. So you had the opportunity to get that second point.
Yeah, I mean, Kasper's, he's seen a lot. He's played a lot of hockey in his years, and he knows the game, and he knows how to step up in the big moments. And I think having him this year with the team, and that leadership he brings to the group, it's unreal for us.
And then can you answer this last question in Latvian, please? Just the atmosphere in the rink and how that helped propel you guys forward in your win today.
Jā, Šveice iemet trešo golu. Kā teikt, tā automātiski nokārās galvas uz soliņu, bet es domāju, mēs nepadevāmies, mēs gājām tālāk, savācām visu spēks, kas bija, un, protams, jūs to palīdzējāt, un prieks par uzvaru un prieks dāvāt faniem ceturdaļfinālu. Paldies!
Redzēji? Kā Braļs pielika golu, Braļs sakārtoja 1+1.
Latvijas 7.